So people have got the answer without having to go through to your website. So part of your strategy is looking at, one, how do you get cited in this area here in these search results? And two, how do you get people to then click through to your website for more information?
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today.
All right, fabulous. All right, well, let's move through to our topic tonight, and that is 5 things that you can do to help yourself to become visible in the AI engines. So let me I do have some slides for this. What did I do with it? This one here. All right, so 5 things you can do right now to show up in AI results. It's one of those things where I suppose the thing that people were often sort of looking to do is, how do I get into the search engines and, in particular, get onto page 1 of the search results? And so that was the push up until really sort of well, we're in mid-2020s now, but that was really the push to get into the search engine results, which got harder and harder and harder. When I started in it, which was back in, dare I say it, 2002, I think it was or 2001 that I built my first website, and Google had just entered the market then. Very, very easy to show up in the search results. All you had to do was to repeat the same word over and over again through your content. You were guaranteed to sort of show up as number 1, number 2, or number 3. That was how you got into the search results. Do the same thing in, say, 2020. That would be the thing that would get you banned from the search results. So what worked back then, and it's called gaming the system, sort of several years later, that's the thing that will, stop you sort of showing up as well too. So that's called SEO, or search engine optimization. Lots and lots of ways and tactics and strategies to get yourself found in the search engines. And of course, we now live in an age of AI, and there's some specific things in this AI environment where you get recommended. So you might have noticed that, if you're doing searches and things, or asking questions in, say, the large language models, so let's say using ChatGPT or Claude or whichever is the one that you use, you'll find that you will ask a question and then sometimes there'll be a link in there, so like a citation. So they'll put a link in and that's really where they got their information from. So wouldn't it be good if people ask questions and the information that was taken was from your website and your website link was shown there? Really, the question is, how do you get your link into that? And particularly I suppose these days, where the AI results are going, you may have seen that they're now starting to introduce ads into the AI engines, well, ChatGPT in particular. So starting to see them monetize the platform, and so some of those recommendations that are going to come through are going to be paid recommendations. It'll have a note on it to say that it is paid, so people are running ads for it. But that's really where we're going. That's the next iteration of the AI models. So at the moment, you do have the opportunity to get the organic results in there. So just like it was back, the early 2000s when Google was fairly young, and I had my first website. It's with these AI tools, it's easy now to get, well, easier now to get those citations in there. So it's just a question about how do you go about doing that so you do show up. And just an interesting point too. Well, I find it interesting. You might not. I was looking for a description of how I might describe myself when I'm on other people's podcasts and doing other people's webinars. And so that was a little workshop that ChatGPT and I did. And the phrase that came up, and you've probably seen it across some of the socials, is that my role is not as a CEO, but it's the instigator of online success. So when I put that out, that was one that I'd workshopped in ChatGPT. Someone else then did sort of a couple of days later or a few days later, wasn't that long after I'd done that, asked a question about who is Nick Cree. And lo and behold, in that ChatGPT came up, Nick Cree is the instigator of online success. So some of what you're creating, with the large language models, they start to come up into other people's searches as well too. So just be mindful of questions you ask, what you're creating, how you're describing things, because that's also training the engines as well. So for me, that was quite good, and so that's what's starting to permeate the engines. Let's just see. Someone has their microphone on. So let's go, and if you can just mute yourselves, especially if you're talking in the background. All right, so let's have a look at where we are with this now. And as I said, if you've got any questions, let me just find the chat. I'll leave the chat open, so if you do have any questions, just drop in the chat, or feel free just to pop up your hand. I can see you all as well too, so happy to have a discussion in here as well. All right, so one of the things in terms of the environment that we're in with AI now is what's called zero-click search. Anyone heard of that term? Zero-click search? Yep, a few of us. So what zero-click search is that people go to, let's say, Google. They do a search in Google. They drop their question in there, and at the top of Google, you get something like this that's on the screen. So this particular one, because it was relevant, I typed in, what is zero-click search? It's come up at the very top with this here. So this is a AI generated result that tells me what zero-click search is. And so what it means is that people get the answers that they want without clicking through to the website where the information came from. So it means that there are way less clicks to your website than there ever were. And roughly, they're saying about 50% of searches in Google result in no click through to a website. So if you're optimizing your website to get traffic and you find that your traffic has dropped considerably, this could be the reason why. So people have got the answer without having to go through to your website. So part of your strategy is looking at, one, how do you get cited in this area here in these search results, and two, how do you get people to then click through to your website for more information? And so that's no easy answer, but it does come through to how you structure your content and how you create content. So you can see on the right hand side here, these here are the websites that Google has used to create the AI snippet on the left-hand side. And you'll see there's a little link icon beside some of these. These are the links through to the article. So you see these are listed in order. So you can see at the top here, there is a link icon at the end of this particular quote here. And that's from this first website. So it's citing that website. The second one is under this adaptation strategies. That's the second website, which is the SEMrush. And the third one, local intent, comes from this the third article. Now, if you click on show all, it'll bring up other sources of content or data. And so what you find is with these searches, the searches that result in zero-click tend to be informational searches. So these are people that are asking a question to get some information. They're asking a question, they just want to get an answer. So and that's only one type of search as well. These are informational. So part of your content structure is thinking about how do you get into searches like this that are informational, but you need to also think about people who want to go a little bit deeper. So people who want to go deeper might be asking questions like how-to questions. So a how-to question will more than likely result in a click. So if someone says, for instance, how do I sell my business? Then they'll get some information in the informational search. But if they're serious about selling their business, and let's say they're looking for a broker to help them, and so in their query is, how do I sell my business? And then where is a broker who can help me with the selling my business? That there's now not an informational search, that's a navigational, what they call a navigational search. And so a navigational search is one where they'll click through to the listings that are here. So you might find on the right-hand side, you might have a list of, say, three brokers, three business brokers in their area. And so with that there, let's just go back one. With that there, then people will then go and click through, because what they're looking for is someone that's going to help them take action. So information is no action. That's information. That's just answering a question. And then you've got searches there that require action. So you need to have both of those in your content. So thinking about which is information, and then what parts of your content are really calls to action. And maybe it's not a call to action to download anything yours, but a call for them to click through, to view a video, or to get a more in-depth answer than they can get from the AI answers. So you can think of the AI answers as short summaries, but people that want to go deeper will be looking for information that is longer. And there are also things like buying intent. So if people are looking to buy something, then they obviously can't buy it from the AI generated result. Well, certainly not yet, they can't buy it. So then they will then go and click through to places there that they can go and buy it and get information to go and buy things. Does that make sense? So, you've got informational searches and you've got action searches. So that's all about intent. So it's really thinking about what is the intent of someone that is asking a question in the search engines, and how can you meet that intent? So intent is something like information. I just want an answer to this. That is intent. I want to buy something. So that's a buying intent. Where is the nearest chemist? That's a navigational intent. So think about, with all of your content that you're creating and what you're doing online, what is the intent that you're actually answering for people, and that will then help you to, particularly in your getting noticed or getting cited in some of the AI engines. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But this is just really an overview of the environment that we're in, zero click. So it's like most searches don't end up going to websites. Your traffic's dropped, but now it's how do you get into this sort of top AI area to be cited in here. We're going to talk about some of that as well. All right. Does that also make sense, or any sort of questions around all that? Is that helpful in terms of understanding the environment that we're in? Yeah. Okay. Good. Like this is really critical, because understanding this is really going to help you to create content. We still have to create content. So there's no getting around, not creating content. So even though we've got AI still relies on content. So people are asking questions, they're asking for information, they're looking for answers, and all AI is doing is going out and searching for the answer, and it might get it in a number of different places, collating it, bringing it together, and giving people one answer. So effectively what it's doing is, rather than you going out and searching and then doing a number of searches and opening up all of the websites and finding the answers yourself, what the AI tools are now doing is they're doing all of that work and bringing you the most relevant answer to your questions. So you might, if you're getting cited in the AI tools, it might be just for a snippet of information that you have, but that might be in with snippets from other people. So AI has really collated and curated that to give people what it thinks is the complete answer to what they're asking for. So relevancy is very important. and it always has been with, particularly search optimization, is making sure that the content that you're giving or that you're creating is relevant to the questions that people are asking. And so with search engine optimization, traditional search, what Google was doing was it was looking for what is the most relevant answer that directly answers the question that someone was putting into the search engine. So think about it as question and answer engine. And so the number one spot would be someone who has the most relevant answer. So these days it's highly unlikely you're going to have the most relevant answer to everything that someone's asking, but you want to have the most relevant answer to a short part of what people are asking. And maybe there's lots of short parts that people are asking, but relevancy is all important. So difference between search engine optimization and AI engine optimization is that SEO is your objective with search engine optimization is to get a high ranking, so getting like number 1, 2, or 3 in the search results, and to drive organic traffic to your website. So as you can see, that strategy is still important, but it's now more difficult to get that traffic through to your website. The AI engine optimization is all about being the preferred answer. So unlike search engine results where you get 10 answers on a page, with AI tools, there's one. So they're serving up what they think is the best answer. So it's not 10, it's 1. And so what it's looking for is what is the credible authority for it to use to give that one answer. That makes sense? So SEO, multiple answers on a page. AI, one answer. And so to give you an example, so if you're optimizing for let's say search engine optimization, you might write a 2,000-word article which ranks at the number 1 spot for, in this case, what is content marketing. And so in that article, it's a comprehensive article, and it really is helping people with, say, a step-by-step or the details of, what is content marketing. So 2,000 words, quite comprehensive, long essay, long article. For the AI engines, what it works for that is not a 2,000-word article. It is a 50-word structured answer in a conversational tone. So remember, people are using the AI tools like a conversation. So some people are talking to the AI tools. Anyone use, just speak to ChatGPT or Gemini just with natural voice? Okay, so a few of us are doing that. Other people are typing. And again, they're not typing in full sentences. They're just typing. So enough there to get the answers out. So it's shorthand, conversational. So the answers or the content that you're creating needs to be conversational as well, but highly relevant, highly targeted, without a lot of filler words and things that you would do to fill out an article. Very succinct. So you're looking at short, succinct answers, and it needs to really answer directly what the question is. Does that make sense? So long versus very, very short. And you actually need both. So you're not abandoning search engine, stuff for the search engines, because the AI tools are using content. So it'll use that 2,000-word article to then extract the information, in that it's giving as answers to people that are asking questions in the AI tools. So you might still write that 2,000-word article, but that 2,000-word article is broken up into, you can take out like 50-word paragraphs out of that, and they will stand on their own. So the structure of your article is thinking, you need to have blocks of text in there that are short phrases that stand on their own. So take it out, it makes sense. And so those are the pieces that the AI tools are then pulling out to then cite in the answers that they're giving people that are using the AI tools. So it's a change to the way that you are structuring your writing. And I'll give you some ways of doing that through the session as well too, to help you. All right, so intent. So we touched on intent. So so what you're looking for is what are the searcher's intent when they're asking questions. And so informational, you've seen the informational stuff, which is often what you see in the Google search engine with the AI search at the top. Transactional might be something like what are the best running shoes out there for long distance running? So transactional is often comparing things with each other. So with the intent that they're probably going to go and buy something. Navigational. Where do I find the best lawyer in my area that's going to help me to get off my speeding infringement? That's a navigational thing. So looking for content there that is guiding people somewhere. And it could be guiding people to a result as well. It might not be a business, but it could be guiding people to a result. So again, a navigational one would be, what's the best way to get fit having eaten all this food after Christmas? Or what's the best sort of diet to after Christmas to get myself back into shape? That's a navigational search. Looking at some travel, so a navigational search for travel is how do I get a good night? How do I get avoid jet lag and get a good night's sleep when I'm traveling? That's a good navigational search for the sleep pillow or the sleep keeper that Science got on here. So thinking about what are the problems that people have got, and what are the things that they're looking for? How are they navigating through? What are the comparisons? And then commercial is all about buying. So this is people who are there looking to buy something. And so generally commercial intent, really easy to find that there because you might be, where's the best place to buy sunglasses? They've got the word buy in it. So, a commercial is like buy, pretty much that's the word. So, but they're the key content pieces or key intent that you are creating content for. So that's a good way to structure it in the sense that if you informational are people who are probably not buyers yet, and as they go down through to transactional, that might be that might be a comparison. So they've got some information about what it is in your particular area. Transactional is what are the different sorts. Navigational is who are the best people or who's the best business to go to. Commercial is where do I buy something? So you're just creating content for each of those areas. If you're able to tick off all of those, that there's one of the fundamental keys to help you get cited into some of the AI tools. And the key with these answers is having very succinct answers that directly answer the questions that people are asking. And you might ask, well, what are these questions that people are asking? Well, fortunately, we have an AI tool that can help us. And if you go and type into the AI tool that you're using, what are the questions that people are asking about headaches or about migraines, if you happen to be in the area of helping people with headaches. So you can start to interrogate the search engines, the AI engines for that, and you'll start to get some questions coming back out. So just think about the AI tool is it might look like it sometimes, it's making up stuff, but really what it's doing is feeding back information that it's learned or people have put in, and so you're now scraping or getting that intel or that information out. Some other tools out there too, like Answer the Public. So Answer the Public's a good one, or Answer Socrates. If you Google both of those sites, they're sites that will bring up the sorts of words that people are using or the phrases they're searching for. And there's another one called Also Asked. So those three sites there, so they're alternatives as well. So you can use, so the way I use those is, the one that I've used most is Answer the Public and Answer Socrates. You do your broad search there, and they will give you lots and lots of questions that people are asking. So these are actual questions that people are answering, asking, and they get them from the Google search results. So when you type into Google, there'll be a drop down after you start typing in your question, and it's giving you sort of a drop down with the next word at the end of it. So they're giving you lots of suggestions, and those suggestions really are the top searches that other people have searched for as well. So it's looking at intent and looking at what is it you're likely to be looking for, and those are the suggestions that it gives you underneath the search box. So that's suggestive search. So those tools like Answer the Public, also Answer Socrates, that's what they're listing. They're giving you those there. So then you can go and grab some of those, and you can put those into your language model, so into ChatGPT, and you can then start to ask it to give you some more context around the questions, or ask it to refine what people are actually asking, or you can even ask it, what is the intent behind these questions? So you can start to find out, is this more of a information, or is it transactional intent? Or you could ask it, what is the progression from this question here that you've got from informational to commercial? And so then you'll start to get a progression, and that will start to guide you in terms of the sorts of content you need to write or need to create. Does that make sense? So use the tools that you've got, use the search, use the AI engines to help you with those questions. And the key to these is that once you've got the questions, very short, succinct answers. So write a long article, but you just want to have these paragraphs in it. They're very short, that are complete answers inside the article. And you don't have to write a long article either. You just need places to post the content, and it will show you some of those places as well. So here are the 5 things that you can do right now to help you with your to get cited. Jeff, you'll like this one here, Jeff. So one of the key things is your business profile. So the AI machines, they're not only looking at your website, they're looking at where else do you appear across the web. One of the easiest ways to start to get consistency and start to get your profile out there is making sure that you've got a good Google business profile, and also Bing profile, and also look at things like Apple Maps and Yelp. So you can create profiles on a number of those as well. Wherever you can create a profile, go and set up the profiles. Now Google's the one that we probably most often see, because that's the one that appears in the Google search results. But look at these others as well. I think, Yelp, if you're more of a service-based or restaurant-based business, but set up all of the profiles, and NAP is important. So Jeff mentioned this as well. So NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. When you're setting them up, make sure it is exactly the same across all of those profiles. And in fact, it's exactly the same on your social media, on your website, anywhere where you're listing your name, address, and phone number online. And when I say exact, if you spell street, for instance, as ST, then it's down to making sure that you're using ST only across all of the platforms, not spelling out sort of ST on one platform and then the full word street on another platform. So NAP means it's exact. And the reason why that's important is that when the AI engines are having or crawling all of the content, if it sees things that are exactly the same, it makes it easy for it to say this is the same person, or this is the same business. So you're just really making it easy for those platforms to link all of these things of yours together. Same with your website as well. My preference with website is when you are listing your website online, you don't need to put the www bit or the https://www. Just put in your domain. So, your domain.com. So, but if you are using a www, make sure it's across all the platforms exactly the same way. And the other thing that's helpful too is your hours of business as well. So if you've got a business that with specific hours, put your hours across there as well. So that helps with the AI understanding when you're open, which is important for things that have got navigational intent. So those searches with navigational intent or even buyer intent. So having your opening hours is important. If you don't have opening hours, that's fine. You're open 24 hours, which is often the case if you're an online business. So first thing, business, and set up your business profile. So if you've got business profiles, make sure that you have completed them 100%. So in the Google profile, the Google business profile, it's got a little circle at the top of your profile, and the circle should be green. So, it goes from red to orange to green. It's like a traffic light system, but you're making sure you've filled in absolutely everything in there. And so down to uploading photos, uploading videos, whatever it asks you, make sure you've got content in it. So Jeff Summers, who's here, he is more of an expert on that than I am. And I'm sure that if you reached out to Jeff and you had some questions around it, he'd be more than happy to help you. Sorry, Jeff, I just threw you into that. Is that okay? Excellent. So make sure you put your details in the chat there too.
Thank you, Nick.
Jeff. So that's the number one thing to do. And that's one of the easiest things that you can do. Your business profiles. I'd actually put in there as well to your social profiles as well. Grab as many social profiles that you can, even if you're not active on them. But if you haven't got TikTok, for instance, create a TikTok account. At least get your name, address, phone number, website, all of that stuff in there in exactly the same format. Just gives you another place to be, for the AI engines to gather that information together about you. And who knows, at some point you may want to, start doing something on TikTok or a platform that you're not using at the moment. Number two. This is about establishing yourself as an authority and in the focused area that you're dealing in. And so the authority is, think about it, is you are the go-to person for your particular industry or in the specific angle that you've got. So when I say authority, it might be that, let's say you're a local business and you operate in let's say Cairns in Queensland, and let's say you're a chiropractor in Cairns. Now there are a number of chiropractors in Cairns. So one of the things that you can focus in is being the go-to chiropractor in Cairns. So first of all, your authority it's a local authority. So it's the local area of Cairns. So you're not interested in someone down in Melbourne. So, because people are not going to travel up to Cairns for, well, they might do depending on how good you are, but you're really focusing on being the best chiropractor in Cairns. The next thing to do with that too is to think about what is it you're known for as a chiropractor. So you might be a chiropractor that has incredible success in helping people with, let's say, with a sore back. That only comes to mind because I had a twinge in my back before I was ready to go traveling, and I did not want to get on a plane with this twinge on my back because I knew it was going to be incredibly uncomfortable. I learned some home truths about the chiropractor. Says we can't fix it, but we can help you, but you've got to keep coming back. So, but maybe it's a specific sort of back pain, lower back pain. So you become the authority in sort of helping people with lower back pain to get them fixed. And it might be that you're using a particular technique. So your unique angle is that you use a particular technique to fix someone's back pain. You're a chiropractor in Cairns. That is a unique angle. So think about what is your unique angle. What have we got? Diane, I can't see her now. Oh, there she is. She's got the pillow. So I'm going to keep picking on you because I can see your pillow thing. She's got this waterproof pillow wrap there. So she's got a particular niche. Are there competitors out there? Yes, there are. Well, there are people that sell the pillows that you sleep on the airplane that go around your neck. There's probably other competitors to the problem that she's solving. but she's got a unique solution, and that you can take your own sort of pillow along with you and wrap it up. And one of the unique things about it is your pillow wraps up to only a third of its size, so it fits in your suitcase. It can go over the top of your suitcase. You can carry it sort of on the plane, whatever it happens to be. So that's a unique angle. In fact, I don't know anyone else that sells that particular sort of product where you sort of wrap it up. I just used to use a bungee cord and wrap up my pillow. So, but that's a unique angle. So think about what is a unique angle, and everybody's got a unique angle. So really craft it, and then you become an authority for that. Now, the reason why that's important is that helps the AI engines to then use you, because you are unique and no one else does what you do, to answer questions that people are asking that are related to the specific issue or problem that you solve. So chiropractors, there is nothing unique about a chiropractor. Some of them might think they are unique, but as an occupation, there's nothing unique about it. So you have to drill down to get to that thing that's unique. And it might not just be the fact that you do what everybody else does. Could be just location dependent. You live in this particular town. That's unique. So look for something unique. And the reason why that's important is that if someone's searching and they happen to be in Cairns, they're asking for things like what's the best way to fix or treat my back pain or whatever it is. Then if they're in Cairns, these AI engines know where you are because you've got GP or you've got location turned on in your browser. And so then it goes and brings in the Cairns chiropractor. So it's good to have to think about these unique angles. If you need a hand to think about what's unique about you, use ChatGPT and just start to ask it. And sort of ask it to, what is your unique advantage, your unique authority, and start to give it some information, some parameters about it, and just use the AI tool as a workshopping tool. So that'll help you. So once you've established that, then you want to be repetitive about mentioning it and talking about it. And so, look at places where you can get content out where you talk about that particular uniqueness. So, for me, I am always looking for other people's webinars to be on or podcasts to be on, seminars. So, if you're looking for, and there's lots of those in each of your industries, look for people who are running, particularly podcasts. They're easy ones, and they're often, looking for guests. Where could you be a guest on people's podcasts? Think about things like guest posting an article. So, and lots of places there where you could team up and do some guest posting and articles. So a good place to look for that is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has got a feature called LinkedIn newsletters. So if you have a look at LinkedIn newsletters, you can approach some of those authors of the newsletters and maybe sort of think about doing some sort of exchange. And someone who's not competing with you. So again, I'm going to use Diane again in the travel sort of sector. Then there's lots of people in the travel sector that help people to get a good night's sleep, be rested, get over jet lag, all of that sort of thing there. Look for other people in the industry where you can you can write for them, they can write for you. And so if you can write in their LinkedIn newsletter, great for them because they don't actually have to come up with this original content. Great for you because you get positioned in front of their audience and you can talk about your unique focused authority area. So guest posting and articles, backlinks, the more you can get people to link back to you and your website, the better. One really easy way to do that is physical networking. So I'm a member of a networking group, and in the networking group, they have got a directory. And so the directory, you can put your website in there. And so two things I can do on this is I can put my title. So my title is never CEO. My title is what it is that is unique about what I do. And so at the moment, I use instigator of online success. I don't know anyone else that uses that in their title. So that there is across all of my social media. It's in a lot of articles. It's how people introduce me. It's in my networking profile. And so the backlink comes back to my website. So that's an easy way to get backlinks. Go and join networking groups or groups there where they've got a directory. Again, if you are on people's podcasts or writing for their newsletters, then you'll get a backlink back to your website. Even better, if you can do something with the government. So what did I come across today? Someone I was speaking to today, she is a mentor for the Mentor for Growth government program in Queensland, or in Brisbane and Southeast Queensland. So she is on the government website for presenting information on compliance. Actually, she's here tonight, Sandy. So Sandy Tembo. So she does compliance for small business. She is on their website. They promote her because she's a mentor and teaches small business about compliance, industry compliance or government compliance. So look for places where you can volunteer for that sort of thing there, where they list your website and or even your social media profiles. That's a backlink to you. So that's a good way to get that authority, particularly government ones, because they're really hard to get. And government sites have more weight than just us ordinary, business websites. Authoring a book is a good way. Who's a book author here? There's a couple of us here. Yeah. So being a book author is a great way to get create authority. One, from a perspective, you've got a book. So if you've written a book, people automatically think you're an authority in this area anyway. Second thing is that if you've got your book on Amazon, there's another link back to you as well too. Plus with a book, you can easily start to use that in talks, presentations, in podcasts and seminars and webinars, and you've got a place to naturally lead people back to on your website where you're selling the book and talking about the book. Media interviews, if you can get onto traditional media, that is really good. One of the easiest ways I got onto Sky News was I just happened to be sitting down at the waterfront doing a video for this particular show, and then I got approached by the reporter for Sky News to ask my opinion on the upcoming election. I really didn't have an opinion, but I made one up on the spot, so that got me into the media. So look, what I can say, look for those opportunities. Sometimes they just come up. And then social media, just being consistent across your social media, particularly about your focused authority area. Keep talking about the same message all the time. So, mix it up, makes your post, but make sure you're consistently posting about your uniqueness or your authoritative uniqueness. So you really want to be in a position where people sort of say, that's the person to go to. I've seen that person sort of talking about this, go to that person. So you're getting recommendations from people that don't even know you. That means you're the go-to person. All right, that's number 2. I better get a move on because we've got 3 more. On your website, so answer specific questions. So don't have general answers that cover a number of questions. One question, one answer. So the easiest way to do that is to have FAQs on your website. So the questions, so you might have done some work in the AI tools to work out what questions are people asking. Answer those in an FAQ format on a website. And again, remember, conversational, short and to the point. That's a really easy way to get that short content. How-tos are really good. So generally, how-to guides, the intent for that is navigational. So it crosses the boundary between informational and navigational. So how-to is people are looking for more information. You're more likely to get a click with a how-to. And if people are asking questions, and if you look at, say, YouTube, for instance, one of the most commonly asked questions on YouTube is how-to or how do I? So it's really those how-to things. And so that people are interested more deeply in your topic if they do that. If someone types into, let's say, ChatGPT, how do I create a social media marketing plan, for instance, then if you've got a step-by-step guide for that, then you've got a higher likelihood of being mentioned in the answers that come out. And again, keep it conversational, plain English, no jargon. just write as you would talk. And so if you have some difficulty writing as you talk, like if you find that you get into this school teacher English stuff when you start writing, stop writing, start talking. So most of my stuff is done by video, and I just get the transcript from the video, and then I'll tidy up the transcript so that it flows properly. That is a really easy, simple way of keeping things conversational. The more you do with that, one of the things I've done with ChatGPT is to train it in how I speak. So I've got what I call a custom GPT for specific things, or specific tasks. And I've uploaded examples of content that I've written and content that I've transcribed. And then if I'm asking it to do something else, it now writes in my voice. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close to my voice. So you can train these engines so you can speed up your content creation. But again, best way to do it, speak it, get the transcription, tidy up the transcription. So that's number 3. Number 4, schema. This is a little bit more technical. And so you might need a web developer, although there are some plugins and tools, depending on what sort of web platform you're using, that do this automatically. But structured data it's really invisible data. So it's invisible to the naked eye, but the search engines and AI engines can read it. And a structured data tells the machines what your page is about. So for instance, if you have let's say it's a blog on your website, then that's clearly an article. So the schema there is an article. And what schema does is it's an invisible code that says, this is the headline of the article. This is the first paragraph. This is the body of the article. This is a list in the article. So it just breaks it down, and it's effectively giving instructions to the search engine and AI engines as to what this page is about and what the parts of the page are about too. So an easy one to, I suppose, to look at in terms of sort of schema or structured data is recipe. So if you've got a recipe, then you've got various parts of a recipe. So you've got the title of the recipe, you've got the ingredients of the recipe, you've got the method of the recipe, you might have a picture of the final product. So what schema does is says, this is a recipe, here are all the different parts of it to the search engines. And so there's lots of different schema types. If you've got an e-commerce site, you've got products, so that you've got product schema. So someone like Roger, who's got the surfing site, he's got a schema in there for the products. If you're running events, there's schema for that. Local business. If you're a famous person, or even if you're not famous, then you do speaking and that sort of thing there, then you've got schema on person. And then you've got FAQs. We talked about FAQs before. They have a particular schema as well. So if you talk to your web developer, ask them about schema for your website, or if you don't have a web developer and you've got a WordPress website, for instance, you can use plugins like Yoast or Rank Math. Both of those will automatically create some of the structured data for you. If you're using Elementor, then they've got sections in there for creating structured data as well too. Other web platforms have their means of doing it as well too. But if you don't understand it, again, go to ChatGPT, go and ask it what the structured data is. Go and ask it to give it the link to your page, and ask it whether it has structured or got schema in it already, and ask it what you need to do to implement schema into the page, and it will tell you. And then if the web developer's got no idea, you can say, well, I did some research, here it is, give it to them. And if you really do need some help, sing out, and I'm more than happy to help as well too. So number 4, that was schema. Number 5 is to interrogate AI. We've been talking about that all the way through. Use the tool to ask the questions, to find out what your audience is, and to find out how to do things. And one of the things you can do with AI too is if you ask, for instance, questions around your specific niche or your area, and you find that there's not a lot of information that comes through, or your site isn't mentioned at all, then that's a good place to start. So just ask the questions, find out what comes out, and then start to answer those sort of questions there. And it's really good if you find that there's not a lot of information out there, you can then start to provide the information. Now, the way you do that is it's going back to, being on other people's podcasts, webinars, blog posts, newsletters, guest articles, all that sort of thing. But start with a blog. You still need a blog on your website. In fact, I think today a blog is more important than ever, because remember, the AI engines, they are getting that information from that content that you create. So blog articles are a great way to do it. So ask the engine, create specific blog posts about with the answers. I've got some extra ones as well too. Your content, repurpose it across many platforms. So I spoke about, I create my content with video, turn it into text, audio. So we upload to the podcast platforms as well. Captions on your videos, that is also content. Not only does it help people who don't have sound on, but it's also content. Images, short clips, and long form video as well too. If you're using tools like Descript, for instance, or CapCut, or Pictory, all of those can turn long videos into very short clips, which then become content as well too. So it can be the same content that you're using. So if you recorded a video, let's say you record an FAQ video, you can cut that up into little short FAQs. You can turn it into long content. You can turn it into text. You can use it in multiple different ways, using it in social media posts and PDF documents as well. So, I mean, there's lots and lots of things you can do to repurpose it, but set up a system where you're creating the content once and you're putting it into multiple different media forms. And that really helps the AI engines as well, because they start to see the same content across multiple contexts, and it's able to bring it in. So that helps to build your authority with the engines as well. Be repetitive. So any of you that have got kids have probably said the same thing over and over again. And probably got sick of it as well, and probably your kids got sick of it as well. But, pick up your shoes, pick up your clothes, put the washing in the basket, do the dishes. Same thing with business too. Be repetitive. Think about, what are the 7 things that you can keep saying over and over again that describe the unique position in business you've got, and keep saying it. Now you can say it in different ways, but keep saying it. And if you think about the old traditional advertising agencies, what do they do on TV? You're sitting down watching your favorite program, and it's interrupted by ads, or maybe the ads are interrupting the program. But you'll find the same ad gets repeated in every ad break. And sometimes I found that, you see the same ad, one at the start of the ad break, and they repeat it at the end of the ad break. The reason why they do that is repetition is what gets people to remember things. So how many people here know a jingle from an ad there? You can sing the jingle. It's annoying as heck, but you just can't get out of your head. That's who you want to be. You want to be that annoying person that people can't get out of their heads. Well, maybe not annoying, but you've just got repetitive message. So keep repeating it, and you can automate that stuff as well. So the CRM system that I use and talk about and teach about, which is iConnection, which is a Go High Level, our branded version of Go High Level. There is a process in there where you can create, say, 90 days worth of social media posts, the same post, and you can put that on repeat. So the same posts go out every 90 days. So create it once and it will repeat itself forever on a daily basis. And so that's if there's one thing you could invest in this year, that would be a really good thing to invest in. So even when you're not putting out content, you've still got content going out. Even though it's the same content, it's people only see it once in 90 days. Some people are only going to see it once. Other people might see it 2 or 3 times, but you keep repeating the same message over and over again. Where people get tripped up in business is when they sort of say, well, this didn't work when I said this, so I'm going to try saying that. And all that happens is that if you keep on changing and flip-flopping, no one ever knows what you're doing. But if you keep saying the same thing, they know what you're doing, because it's really quite clear. And you can start to refine that as well. So be repetitive. Again, that helps the AI tools as well, because they know that this is what you're doing. Here are the factors that matter most for, when you get ChatGPT or the AI engines putting a link to cite you, So brand. So make sure that your brand is highly visible. So brand being your brand name and your business name. So get your business name. So if you're in people's webinars or podcasts, or you're writing those newsletters or guest posts, make sure that your brand is in there. Your business name is in there. Getting reviews. Reviews is really important, because when you get other people talking about your business, and if other people are mentioning your business and your brand, that's got higher authority than you mentioning it. So that's good third-party proof. And as well as the fact that people make decisions based on recommendations from people that they don't know. They read the reviews, and they'll make decision based on reviews, particularly bad reviews. How many of you have decided not to buy a product because there was a bad review? So reviews have got a double-edged sword, but make sure you just want to get lots and lots of the positive reviews. So get those and across as many platforms as you can. Relevancy is important. So relevancy means that the answers that you are providing to the questions that people are asking are highly relevant, and answer the question directly. Age of content is important as well. So if you've got something that's older but often referenced, that's got authority. But also if you've got something that's newer and current, then that's important as well, particularly when there's been a change from how things were done. So remember, I talked about, in the old days, you could stuff your page full of one word, and that's how you did your search engine optimization. That's no longer relevant. Like, the new thing is making sure that you don't do that and you have contextual terms. So that's about age of content. So what was published back in 2000 around SEO is not really that relevant to what's published today. Things like listicles and curated content. So listicles are just lists of things. So you might list the top 10 things that people want to know about, whatever your areas, or the best tools for, creating content, for instance. So all of that helps to create that's what ChatGPT and AI engines look at when they're starting to collate content. It's not an exhaustive list, but just give you some ideas so you can start to check it off as you're creating your content. And that's it. So go and create. And more than ever, create and automate as much as possible. So when I say create and automate, you want to be involved in the creative process. Don't give the creative process across to an AI tool, because it's not very creative at all. So you create the content, again, speak it. Easy way to do it. Even if you're going for a walk in the morning or the afternoon, you put a microphone onto your phone or whatever it is, speak your content. Really easy way to do it. Then use AI to help to refine it, and use some of the tools out there to automate it. So again, the tool that I use to automate a lot of our stuff is the iConnection Go High Level tool. It just makes our life so much easier. A lot of the stuff we're doing manually is just an absolute breeze now that we've been able to automate it. And really, automate is automating the delivery of it, really not the creation of it. So to make that sort of a distinction there. So that's the operational side of things. So if you're interested in having a look at that tool and want some help with it, scan the QR code. I'll let you can go and get sort of play with it for a month as well too, and to find out sort of how to get this thing working for you. And I've got lots and lots of help and tutorials around all that as well too. I know there's some people on here that use it and have been part of all that as well too. It's made a huge difference in my life. All right, well, that is our presentation for tonight. Any questions? Any feedback, anything you want to say? Let's just have a look at the chat. Excellent. iConnection, Go Hello, a game changer. Yes, it absolutely is. Okay. If you get a bad review, you can change it to a good review by the way you reply. Excellent. Yes. In fact, if you do get negative reviews, you can actually get people to change the review. It is all in how you respond to it. Definitely talk to Jeff about that. He knows how to do that. Any other questions here? Oh, there we go, Fred. Yes, ask AI to create schema after reviewing the page. Yes, AI can actually create your schema for you too. Yep, thanks, Fred. All right, who's the best AI consultant in Queensland? Again, Fred, thank you for asking that. If you do that in ChatGPT, you will see Nick Cree. Actually, probably not, but I'd like it to say that. All right, good question, Jeff. Should we be creating 2,000-word posts or multiple short posts? So my answer to that is your blog post. You're still creating 2,000-word authoritative posts that may answer a number of points to a specific question, but inside the 2,000-word article, you've got blocks of text in there that will stand on their own. So they will answer specific questions and stand in its own right and can be pulled out, and you don't need the rest of the article for context. And in fact, if you create some lists with short content under it is good, and FAQs for your article as well. But what you also do is go and create short social media posts from the long content as well too. All right. Oh, look at that. Diane sort of put in, I just Googled, what is the best way to travel with my pillow for travel? And Sleepkeeper came up as an AI view. That's good. Just one thing with that too, Diane, is that if you are logged into Google or it knows where you are, it might think this is the answer you want to hear. It's good that it's come up. So it is in the search results. But another thing to do is to open up an incognito version of the browser where it doesn't save any of the information. You've got a fresh search and do the search then and see whether it comes up there. If it's not coming up there, then you know you've got a bit of work to do to try and get it into that spot as well too. But you've certainly, getting it up there even in the results where you're logged in is great. Excellent. All right. Any other questions? Fred been using Manus for video creation. So Manus uses Nano, which is Google's tool as well. Excellent. Always learn on the show. Thanks, Narelle. Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. Is there anything else anyone wants to say? Otherwise, we're done. We can go and eat, drink, be merry, whatever it is you do after the show. We will be back again next week as well too. I don't know what the topic is next week, but we'll have something for next week. Probably a guest as well too. Now's a good time to save the chat, which has got all of those links in it as well too. Remember to follow us on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel. If you want to see this again, it will be up on the YouTube channel tomorrow. Smash go. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're pretty much across all of the web to follow us as well too. Spotify and iTunes. If you go to the gym and you want to listen to me while you're jogging in the gym, go and subscribe to us on iTunes or Spotify as well too. Actually, most of our past episodes up there. We've been gradually getting them all up there. So lots and lots of stuff here to listen to. All right, well, that is our session for this week. Thank you, everyone, for showing up for the very first session for 2026. Looking forward to a fabulous year. It is going to be an AI year, an automation year. You'll start to hear me talking lots about CRM, automation, systems, and particularly using that Go High Level platform as well too. It's such a, dare I say it, a game changer. It sounds like an AI word. It is, but it really has made a massive impact. All right, well, that's our show. Thank you, everyone, for coming on, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.